Ever feel like your brain's packed full, like almost hitting that data limit?
Right.
Well, comedian Brian Simpson, he's got this wild theory about that.
Yeah.
And today's deep dive, we're exploring his unique and hilarious takes on AI, video games, even relationships. We're going deep into his conversation on Duncan Trussell's podcast, so
Buckle up.
buckle up, exactly.
Yeah, what's fascinating is that Simpson suggests our instincts are just like our brains doing this extreme compression.
Oh, okay.
Like trying to, like cramming a whole encyclopedia into a tiny, tiny box.
Wow.
He actually compares it to a black hole.
Oh, wow.
Information goes in, what comes out? Who knows?
Right.
But here's the kicker. He connects this to the future of AI.
So we're not just talking about, like, forgetting where you put your keys.
Yeah.
But about a fundamental way our brains might be limited.
Yeah.
And how that could play out with AI. It's like that old myth that running faster than 25 miles an hour would kill you.
Right.
Imagine if we're approaching a similar limit with technology, but totally blind to it.
Precisely. It makes you question what we might be completely wrong about right now.
Yeah.
And that leads us to Simpson's rather unsettling view on AI regulation.
Yeah.
He thinks it's pointless.
He believes that trying to control AI is like what? Trying to outrun a black hole?
Yeah.
Futile.
It's impossible.
So instead, Simpson suggests that merging with AI might be our only hope to keep up.
Yeah.
But I gotta say, after listening to his hilarious and slightly disturbing sentient fleshlight bit,
Yeah.
I'm not sure I'm on board with that plan.
Well, remember, Simpson uses humor, right, as a tool to explore these complex issues.
Sure.
But his point about the futility of regulation, it does raise some interesting questions.
Like what?
If one country decides to just go all in on AI development,
Right.
ethical considerations be damned.
Right.
Wouldn't that force others to follow suit just to keep up?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
It's like the dilemma of doping in sports.
Totally.
The pressure to gain an advantage, even if it means bending the rules.
And suddenly we're not just talking about rogue AI.
Rogue.
We're talking about a global AI arms race
Yeah.
with potentially disastrous consequences.
Exactly.
So while Simpson's delivery is comedic, the underlying message about the breakneck speed of AI development and the global stakes involved is definitely something to ponder.
It is. And it leads us to another area where Simpson feels a lack of control, the frustrating world of video games.
Okay.
Specifically, those infamous unskippable cutscenes.
You get that feeling, right? You're finally digging into a new game, controller in hand,
Oh, yeah.
ready for action, and then bam!
Yep.
10 minutes of unskippable cutscenes.
The worst.
Simpson, he's got some thoughts on that.
What's interesting here is how Simpson, he really taps into that emotional response a lot of gamers have to these unskippable moments.
For sure.
It's not just like, oh, this is inconvenient.
Right.
It's this feeling like your agency as a player, it's being ignored.
It's like, I'm invested in this world, in this story. I wouldn't be playing if I wasn't.
Exactly.
But these forced cutscenes,
Yeah.
they just take away the reins, you know?
Mhm.
Make you a passive observer. And it's infuriating, especially when, you know, you're an adult, you're short on time.
Oh, absolutely. We've all been there.
And Simpson really goes in on Saber Interactive for this in their new Warhammer game.
Yeah, Space Marine 2, I think.
Yeah, Space Marine 2.
Yeah, he does. He even puts forward this darkly humorous theory that game developers, they're making games grindy on purpose,
Really?
forcing you to watch the same cutscenes over and over
Oh, man.
just to inflate those playtime metrics.
I mean,
Yeah,
it's very cynical, but
it is a little cynical.
it does make you wonder.
It does.
But maybe it's not, you know, malicious.
Right.
Like, could it be, like you were saying earlier, a misguided attempt to recapture that spirit of
Yeah.
older, more challenging games?
Exactly. Think about those games, back in the day.
Yep.
Dying in a side-scrolling platformer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That often meant starting the entire level over.
The whole thing.
And for some gamers, that difficulty, that grind, it's nostalgic.
Right.
It's associated with a feeling of accomplishment they feel is missing from modern games.
So it's not about being cruel. Maybe it's about trying to recreate a feeling.
Exactly.
Even if the execution, misses the mark a little bit.
Right. But ultimately, I think Simpson's message to game developers is clear. Just give players the option to skip,
Yeah.
to engage with the story at their own pace.
Because when it comes to relationships, as we're about to find out, Simpson believes that having choices and respecting boundaries,
Yeah.
that's paramount. Speaking of which,
Well,
Get ready for a fascinating detour. We're going to explore Simpson's take on a certain infidelity website's rather incendiary advertising. Simpson found those Ashley Madison ads, kind of incendiary.
Yeah.
Which I think is perfect, right? It captures that taboo thrill they're going for.
right.
But it got him thinking about, relationships. And that's where things get really interesting.
Yeah, it's a fascinating jump from battling orcs in video games
Right.
to dissecting infidelity.
Right.
And the Ashley Madison hack. That's a gold mine for this.
Oh, yeah.
Think about it. The desire for something outside your relationship, the risk, the exposure,
Oh, yeah.
the public fallout. It's like a digital soap opera.
It's like Black Mirror meets Real Housewives,
Yeah.
but with real-life consequences.
Exactly.
And Simpson, he doesn't shy away. He talks about monogamy, infidelity, gaslighting, how choosing to deceive your partner.
Yeah.
It's like inviting deception into your own life.
That's powerful. Makes you think about the ripple effects of our choices,
Right.
especially in relationships.
Yeah.
And while infidelity can be so damaging,
Oh, absolutely.
it's also important to remember relationships are complex.
They are.
Sometimes infidelity.
Yeah.
It's a symptom of deeper issues.
Right. It's rarely black and white.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But Simpson's point about gaslighting, that feeling of like having your reality manipulated,
Yeah.
questioned, that's relevant here. It's a form of control.
It is.
It can be so damaging.
And speaking of control, Simpson's take on partners who, dictate each other's sexual behavior.
Yeah.
Real eye-opener. We're talking about situations where, one partner's not allowed to watch porn or even use a sex toy.
He makes this compelling argument that it's not about morality.
It's not.
No, it's about power,
Okay.
which he suggests is basically BDSM.
Wow.
It makes you think those lines between comfort and control.
Right.
Where are they?
Yeah.
And it circles back, right, to his AI points earlier.
Totally.
Like, tech is pushing boundaries. Where do we draw the line?
What's acceptable, what's harmful
Exactly.
to ourselves and others.
It's a question worth pondering, especially as we go further into this uncharted territory.
Yeah.
Technology, relationships.
It's a lot.
It is. But Simpson's insights, often delivered with that dose of humor,
Yeah.
they offer a really unique perspective.
They do.
Leaves us with more questions than answers, which
Which is good.
is a sign of a good conversation, I think.
It is. So what will you take away from Brian Simpson's unique perspective? Does his view on instinct, on AI, make you question what humanity might be blindly approaching? Do you share his frustration with those unskippable cutscenes?
Yeah.
Or his stance on control in relationships? Think about it. And until next time, keep asking those questions. Keep exploring. And remember, sometimes the truth is a lot stranger and funnier than fiction.